I want to say there are a ton of tortured fan bases, plenty of fan bases that have had their fair share of headache, heartache, heartbreak, agony. We know this. We also know that there is no fan base that is more tortured or knows more heartache, headache, and heartbreak and agony than you, Bills Mafia.
Devastating. Heartbreaking.
You are the undisputed champions of pain and misery. Unfortunately, that is the only championship you get. That is the only title I can offer you. But at least I can say you have absolutely earned it. Not again. I don't even want to ask you or need to ask you how you're living. I already know. I don't want to ask you how it feels because I already know that too. It feels about the same way it did the last time y'all couldn't get past the Chiefs. It feels just about the same way it did when the Mafia's hopes went up in flames thanks to a field goal slicing wide right yet again. Another gigantic roundhouse kick in the stick. It has been 3+ decades of roundhouse kicks in the stick. Kicks in the stick and kicks missing wide right. Wide right. Truly the worst words in Bills fandom. The most hated words. The most painful words in the history of the city of Buffalo. They would rather have a year-long chicken wing shortage than ever hear the words wide right ever again.
Wide right.
To have another wide right missing a spot like that is almost like the universe trolling the Bills Mafia. Like life itself is trolling the Bills Mafia. Like, the hell did the Bills Mafia ever do to the universe to deserve any of this? Albie, that's not necessary or appropriate. You know what that is? That is the universe trolling, mocking, and laughing at the Mafia. That's what the universe sounds like. That creepy, scary laugh. Another completely heartbreaking, devastating, and shattering loss. There's no way around it. But you know what? Let's be fair about this. It was not about the kick. In part, certainly. But it really wasn't about the kick. Yes, he Norwooded the kick. Yes, the kick was bass backwards. Yes, it was the cruelest possible way for that game to end, no doubt. But I'm not going to put that entire game on Tyler Bass. Of course not. Because that game should have never even come down to Tyler Bass. Buffalo had it. They had the ball at the 2-minute warning on the KC 26. They had 2 timeouts left. The game was completely in their hands, which is exactly why it should have never, ever come down to a 44-yard field goal. And by the way, what did we all think was going to happen if Bass actually made that kick? What did we all think was going to happen if they actually made that kick? Check that. What do we all know would have happened if Bass made that kick? And the Chiefs got the ball back in a tie game with 1:47 left. Is it even a question as to what was going to happen next? Is there anybody anywhere who actually thought that Patrick Mahomes would not march the Chiefs right down the field for a game-winning field goal? Anybody who doubts that was not watching the same game I was, or the same Patrick Mahomes career that I've been watching since the very moment he took over in KC. Because, and now this stat is pretty well worn, but you all know it, and it doesn't make it any less exceptional. That dude has not missed an AFC championship game since he took over as the starter there. He has run off 6 straight. And if he needed another chunky yards in another 2-minute drill to set up a field goal to win that game, is there anybody anywhere who doubts that that would have happened? And so much for that notion that Mahomes might struggle in his first road playoff game. That never made sense. It still doesn't make sense. It never will make sense. Here's another idea that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. This idea that Travis Kelce is completely washed. I'm just saying, a really tough moment for the Yoko Swift crowd or the Taylor Ono crowd. Tough moment for the idiots trying to blame the pop star for the demise of arguably the greatest tight end of all time. Unfortunately for all you idiots, there is no demise. There is no demise. Killer Trav is still Killer Trav.
You're an idiot.
And by the way, how about brother Jason's act up in the box? How about Jason showing up T Swift and showing as much or more star power and getting more attention than the biggest pop star in the world? That was the real upset in Buffalo yesterday. Another great day for the Kelce family. Another great day for the Patrick Mahomes. Notice I didn't say family. I just said for the Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you're looking to assess blame, and pretty much this is what everybody does now, don't put this on Josh Allen. Don't say this is further proof that he can't win the big one or can't beat other elite quarterbacks. Guy played his ass off. Yes, he missed that throw in the end zone at the end of the game because he got knocked off his spot. But until that throw, the guy was pretty awesome. He was pretty sensational. He was good enough that I will let this non-take on the game slide because, not to be a hypocrite here, he's actually not wrong when he says this. I mean, saying something sucks, as always, is not a take. We all know that. But it's hard to come up with something else for you right about now, Mafia, because it does suck. It does suck. There's an obvious problem here, but a less obvious solution. You certainly can't point the finger at the quarterback. Again, you can't put this on Josh Allen, even if he is now 0-3 against his main rival in the playoffs, which obviously is not good enough. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice thinks he knows why Allen keeps coming up short against Mahomes. He's got a theory. According to Rice, it's because while Josh Allen is a damn good player, Patrick Mahomes is just better. He just laughed. Like, what would you say about that? He's better than Josh. He's like, duh. What would you say about that? Duh. He's better than Josh. He's like, are you kidding me with that question? Like, he's laughing. Duh. That's quite a quote. That's quite a soundbite. And he's not wrong. I mean, in part, maybe it is that simple. Maybe it doesn't only come down to that. In fact, I know it doesn't only come down to that, but that's part of it. That's a big part of it. Mahomes is better, especially on the big stage. And that's not a shot at Josh. I'm here to defend Josh. But Mahomes is better, especially on the big stage, and yes, even on the road. So the question is, where do the Bills go from here? I posted on the X last night. Let me reset it right here. Quote, Bills Mafia, I feel for you. Respect the hell out of your team, but you cannot run it back. It's broken. It doesn't work. You won't be better, just older. And something that I didn't post on the X, but I'll say it right now. Did their championship window just slam shut? Was that their last best shot? Face it, Mahomes is not going anywhere. Neither are Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. He's about to win the league MVP, and the Ravens, to me, look like the best team in the league. Joe Burrow has already beaten Josh and the Bills when it mattered most. They're always going to be a problem while Joe is in the natty. And then you've got young teams like the Texans that are on the come up. So I think it's fair to ask, has that championship window already slammed shut? Because while they were banged up, it was all set up for the Bills. And you're not going to be better for this. This is not a part of the process. You're not going to be better for this, just older. You can't run it back. There has to be some sort of shakeup. There has to be some sort of change. Because, like, for instance, the Dallas Cowboys, this is or was supposed to be a Super Bowl caliber team, and it just can't get over the hump. And it's not trending in the right direction, and had everything in front of them this year, and they still fell flat on their face in the big moment. And remember, they essentially got a gigantic mulligan in the beginning of the fourth quarter, too. They ran that shocking and disastrous fake punt that handed Mahomes the ball back at the Buffalo 30 with a 3-point lead. The only reason why it didn't become a 2-score game right then and there is because McCole Hardman miraculously fumbled through the end zone 2 plays later and gave it right back to Buffalo. That right there, that legit was your big break Mafia. That should have been the moment that finally led to the breakthrough. To me, when I saw that, I thought to myself, you know what? That's not the universe laughing at Buffalo. The universe actually finally did toss you a bone. A huge bone. That should have been your get over the hump stroke of luck. Instead, just another footnote of another devastating loss. Oh, and speaking of the Cowboys, I'll just go ahead and get out in front of this because I know it's coming. Don't come up in here and say, hey, Rome, you'll fire Mike McCarthy, but not Sean McDermott. Why not? It's the same exact situation. Hey, listen, there are questions about whether or not McDermott can get this team where it needs to go. Fair question. Fair question. But the McCarthy comp is not a good one at all. In fact, it's terrible. McDermott had his team ready to play. They went toe-to-toe with the defending world champs. Yes, a devastating loss. But it's not the same as the alleged Super Bowl contender, the Cowboys, throwing up all over themselves and taking a big, nasty dump in their pants.
Big dump in your pants.
And getting absolutely humiliated and wrecked by a 7 seed at home in the wild card round by the youngest team in the league because the stage was too big. Again, at home in the wild card round. So don't come in here and tell me it's the exact same thing. It's not. So don't do that.
Don't do that. Come on now.
Come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on now.
The Bills have a problem. They do. A big one. And there is no easy fix. I just know that the solution is not to run it back because all that's going to do is create another crushing loss and more misery for a fan base that does not deserve it, that deserves so much better. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.